Alright, so, anybody know how to do the hokey pokey? Wait a minute, that's the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing. I just checking. How about the funky chicken? Okay, no, that's the wrong thing too. How about Simon Says? Okay, that's the one. Are you good at it, Anna? We'll find out. Simon Says, alright, and this is for the whole church, so don't make me call you out. Simon Says, scratch your nose. So everybody knows the rule. If Simon says it, you do it. If it doesn't say Simon Says, you don't do it, right? Stop! Simon Says stop. Simon Says wave your hands. Stop. Simon Says now raise your hands higher, waving. Simon Says stop. Simon Says drop your hands. Simon Says hop on one foot. Not really. Hop on one foot. Oh, I didn't say Simon Says. Okay, sit down. So we all know that fun, silly game, right? Simon Says, and sometimes you play it in a group and you wait until whoever messes up has to sit down and they're out, and you play it until there's one winner. Here's a really cool thing. There's something that God does, and it's better than just one winner. Guess who the winners are? Guess. Everyone. You're exactly right. Because instead of playing Simon Says, we are living Jesus Says. And when we do what Jesus says, our life is better, better, better. Over and over again. If we do what Jesus says, is your life better? Have you seen it happen? Yep. Yeah. So what if Jesus says, love one another? Is that a good thing? You can do that? If Jesus says, love one another, how could you do it right now? If Jesus says, take care of the sick, what could you do? How do you do that? Go feed them, go sit with them, take them food. Anne can still use some of that still, right? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. If Jesus says, take care of the poor, how can you do that? Give them money. You was cool yesterday. I have one of those protein packs in my car that the Methodist women make. Wow women make, and they have like Vienna sausage and granola bars and a juice box and all kinds of stuff in a bag, pack of nabs. And there was a guy, begging on the corner by Walmart. And guess what? He's probably hungry. And so the WOW women helped that man. So I stuck some money in his hand and I gave him the bag and he was like, oh, thank you. So if Jesus says take care of the poor, how do we do that? Feed them, give them money, take care of them, invite them to be a part of your church and a part of your life, help them find a job, all kinds of stuff. If Jesus says love your enemies, now that's a hard one, isn't it? Yeah, Jesus says, love one another, cool. Love your neighbor, cool. Love your mama and your daddy, listen to what they say, cool. Love your enemies? What about that? Do you have any enemies? Do you have some people that just aren't your favorite friends? Do you have some people that you just don't like at all? Do you? Tell the truth. Of course you do. How in the heck do you love them? How do you do that? Because I love you, I'm going to ignore that comment. I don't think you ignore them. I don't think that'll make your life any better. What must you do to love them that might make your life better? What if, yeah. Tell them you don't like what they did, and can we be friends now? And then they can choose after that, right? Yeah. And maybe if somebody's been ugly to you before, instead of just ignoring them, maybe you might invite them to sit beside you. You might. Maybe you would just try to be nice to them even if they're ugly to you. That's a really hard job that Jesus said, isn't it? Love your enemies. Love your mom and daddy. Love your sister. Love your brother. Love your neighbor. Love your preacher. Love your preacher. That's easy. But loving your enemy is hard work sometimes. So that's something that we all have to work on. And even if it's speaking to them instead of ignoring them. So try that first. Just try speaking to somebody that you don't particularly like, and try that first and see what happens. Then you're not responsible for what they do. You're only responsible for what you do. You just say, have a nice day, and you walk away.
Or say, have a blessed day.
Have a blessed day. There you go. There you go. So we have a big assignment, don't we? Love your enemies. Whew. That's going to take me a lifetime to learn how to do that. How about you? Yeah. So I read a story about the preacher asked, how many of you only have 3 enemies? And a couple people raised their hand. How many of you only have 1 enemy? 1, 2 people raised their hand. How many of you have no enemies? And this old man, 93 years old, sitting on the back pew, raised his hand. And the preacher said, you have no enemies? He said, yeah, I outlived them all. So that's not the best way to love your enemies, but you just love people and you try to be Jesus wherever you go. What would Jesus do? If you have to think about what would Jesus do, that's a good way to think about it too. All right, let's say our prayer, church. Dear God, we love you. Help us to love you, to love our neighbor, to love our families, and yes, Lord, help us even to love our enemies. Teach us how to do that every day. Thank you, God. Amen. Thanks, guys.